one thing about business, we not gatekeepers over here.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? We not Look, hold. You see this gate open? This gate open right here. It's open.
That's open.
Please living in prison. This gate is open. Good afternoon. We're here at F.L.I.P, Living in Prison. And today we're on the topic of the obstacles of being released from prison and starting your own business, and the red tape, or what they call it, of getting through it, and how each and every one of us got through it and getting through it each and every day. My name is Craig Thompson. I was incarcerated 3 different times. I did 3 different bits. Nevertheless, I came out sharper, stronger, and vigilant. And I have my own company, P&B Private Transportation. I have another company in Craig We Trust. And we're here today just to talk about the difficulties and the obstacles and how we're getting through it as a team, as African Americans, as a felon. So F.L.I.P, Living in Prison. We're here today. I like to start on my right and go around to my left. The first person that we have today is...
My name is Raymond Jackson. My business is called Justlikeu LLC. I have dump trucks and sprinter vans that are all medical medications. And I did 20 years in prison.
My name is Dwayne Proctor, and I did 13 years in prison, came home, started a business in the dental lab. The name of my company is Laboratories. Also the founder of this F.L.I.P, Living in Prison, and I'm a 2-time author as well.
My name is Willie Outlaw. Did 5 years in the Lorton system and 5 years in the Maryland Department of Corrections. I'm a licensed electrician. I'm a current member of Local 26. Been doing that. I've been out of prison since 2009. Been in Local 26 since 2009. Also started a tax business, Discount Tax Service. Had that since 2009. Also have a transportation company, Kobe Ride Event Transportation. I've been doing that since like 2020.
And today, I like to start off with myself, how I got started. Actually, I just, on my 50th birthday, I took a trip to Belize, and I seen a buddy of mine there, and it was so funny because he was like, "What you doing?" I said, "Transportation." He said, "Man, you was doing that in the penitentiary." I said, "Yeah, but I didn't even realize it."
I think a lot of times, most of us were entrepreneurs and didn't even know it.
Yeah.
Most people in the street that sell drugs, you slinging, but if you really look at it, it's like a business.
You know, so it just goes to show you can, the old saying, do what you love and love what you do. So I was in prison in Lee County Penitentiary. I had the buses coming up there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I gave the homies a free ride on their birthday and things of that nature. Then I came home, did Uber. Uber cut me off, and P&B Private Transportation came to fruition. And it's just been a blessing. And yes, it has been obstacles going to and fro. I never got a business loan. I borrowed money from good buddies, paid them back with interest and things of that nature. I used my own money, and I just ran with that. I had Chrysler 300 was my first vehicle. And then I got a truck, then I got another truck, and I just added on. So it's not hard. It's just I have a thing that I was telling Wayne. It's called VDD, Vision, Determination, and Discipline. And if you have that, you can do anything you want. Nobody can stop you, because whatever God has for you is for you. But it's enough about P&B Private Transportation. I want to ask a few questions to the panelists that's here, so everybody can get a feel of entrepreneur is not easy, but it pays the dividends. And then I don't do it for the money. I do it for the relationship. And the main reason and what I get out of entrepreneurship is freedom. Freedom. I get to do whatever I want, when I want, how I want. I'm my boss. Can't nobody fire me. That's beautiful coming out the penitentiary. So right now, I'd like to turn it over to the panel and ask a few questions. And the first question I want to ask is, what made you want to start your own business? Starting to my right, Raymond.
What made me want to start my own business? Well, I look back at my family history. Both of my grandfathers, they was business owners. One owned a couple of hair salons. One of them, he was into trucking. So I grew up around entrepreneurs, and that right there, like you said, in itself, it's the freedom that allows you to be able to say whether you want to do this or not. You know what I mean? It's not forced upon you to punch somebody else's clock. You set it up the way that it's supposed to be set it up, and you reap the benefits from, however you envision, your operation to run.
So I always go back to like when I was young, man, my mom made the meanest, and I say the meanest, upside down pineapple cake you can think of. But watch this. I used to go take and have my mom make them, and I would cut them in pieces, sell them for a quarter. I was already a businessman, didn't even know it.
Right.
So, and as I got a little older, I turned to drugs because of certain situations in my environment and things like that. And I had that same thing in prison. I was around people. I was fortunate to be around good men that was mature and would say, look, you can do X, Y, and Z. You can make it out there working a job, and then you can get your own business. But like you said, y'all was saying earlier, we don't know these things, or young people don't know these things unless someone tell us, right? So then I came home, I wanted to do cleaning. Okay, one of the biggest misconceptions is cleaning business is easy. Why they tell us that? Because the startup is don't take a lot of money, but the time and to be successful, but a lot of people told me that you can get a cleaning business. So I came home, had $2,000, everything. I was ready to go. Get a cleaning business. But somebody was like, you're going to be in debt for the rest of your life because royalties. Right. You had to pay the royalties, and you under contract for maybe about 20 years. So I got talked out of it, which was good. Mm-hmm. But then after going around, I have an illness. So with that illness, it would keep me out of work a lot.
Right.
So it's like, someone's like, well, you got to control your own destiny. You got to be able to control. Now, that's a lie too, but we'll talk about that. This is how I got into business on my own. I went to another job, good money, $27. My take home was $1,700 a week at that time. My take home. God told me I was about to be fired. Couldn't believe it. Like, I'm great, get fired, but he told me, you great, get fired. Instead of me saying, okay, no, it was like, you got to do something. Then I tried Metro. I was in Metro, literally, passed the physical and everything. And at the time, I was in my garage, built everything for the business. I was trying to figure out how to do both. How I'm going to work, I need a backup. How I'm going to work Metro and work dental lab at the same time. It was like, how? God told me, he said, no, go full time. And when he said it, somebody else came and told me, said, go full time in your business. And it was like, I took a leap of faith, and hey, been in business going on 18 years.
Now, I want to piggyback off of something in case the viewers don't know. Me and Wayne was over Occoquan, and we both was in college, business management. I used to go to church and all that. I asked, come on, go to church. And he want to go to church. Wayne a pastor now, y'all. And he has a book about the word. But nevertheless, entrepreneur is not for the faint of heart. And it ain't for everybody. Don't get it twisted. I heard him say that, but I'm here to correct. It ain't for everybody. Because if you're not determined and self-motivated, you're going to fail. Because it drains you. It takes a lot out you. Sometimes, I lay in the bed, I ain't doing that. I'm going to get these jobs to my drivers. You know what I mean? But in other times, you got to be able to get up at 2, 3, 4 because it's your business. But people don't realize, they think you got a lot of money. We got a lot of bills. Everybody said we got a lot of bills. You know what I'm saying? We can do what we want, but there's a lot of bills. So I'm gonna turn it over to Outlaw, man, and just say what made you go into business for yourself.
All right. Well, when I got out in 2009, I formulated me a plan. I said, okay, I'm gonna come home. I'm gonna get into construction. So DC Step Up had a program called DC Step Up. First construction job. We worked at Hart Middle School in the summer, and it was a hurry up job. And man, I realized right there that I loved construction and construction taught me patience, because you will see something, a project's got to be done. You see it from start. You see all the coordination of all the trades. So it started giving me a different sense of patience. As soon as I got that going, I got a letter from the IRS. I had sold some property before I went to jail, and I never paid taxes. IRS sent me a bill for like $88,000, and I was like, here we go, God. They keep trying to make me go on the street. I'm trying not to. So I had a real estate license, though. He said, okay, you got a real estate license? He did. So he took a real estate license and all the expenses. When he finished doing it, I think I owed the IRS like $900. And I was like, they gonna go for that? he said, yeah, they gonna go for it. He sent it in, and they went for it. So from that point, I said, I got to learn that move. So I went to H&R Block School while I was going to doing electrical work. I was in the DC Step Up at the time. I wasn't in the apprenticeship yet. I was in DC Step Up. So I started going to H&R Block, taking the class. So I wanted to know which H&R Block had the most volume so I could learn the tax hand quick. So, of course, once I finished the class, 16-week class, got a certificate, went over there to apply for a job. We can't hire you. Your background, you know what I'm saying? So I said, okay. So then I went to Liberty Tax. They hired me because I could work over there in the neighborhood, no problem. Worked over there for like 2 tap seasons, and then the dude say, hey man, you know, you can get one of these franchises. They got one on Georgia Avenue. The white dude wanted to sell it because it was the same thing. They kept getting robbed. And then when they built that Walmart out there, up the hill, I had been marketing that whole neighborhood. But they put another franchisee in that store. So I got in my feelings and a little street mentality. So I kept marketing. Liberty said I had to cease marketing that area. I ended up quitting them. They faked like they were going to sue me, and I started a discount tax service. Here I am. And then with the transportation business, I started doing COVID. A couple of people was complaining about getting on buses, getting sick. So, and I talked to Craig about that business, and so I ended up ordering a sprinter, had it built. Caught a couple of contracts with some funeral homes, and so I ended up 2 businesses, and still got a job. So, and people ask me how I do it. I said, I don't know. And as your business grows, like I had two cars in the funeral Thursday. I just take off work. You know what I'm saying? So as your business grows, your business will take over your W-2 money eventually. And that's when you know you can let the W-2 money go. You know what I'm saying? If you want to. You know, so.
You know, it's funny that you say that, because I want to just stress to all our viewers, the first thing that you have to understand is what God has for you is for you. Can't nobody take it away. And as you listen to all 4 of us, God has been in the midst. He's brought us from a mighty long way. He's done mighty things, and we still believe in him. You know what I mean? And that's one thing about entrepreneurship. You got to have God first and foremost. You got to pray, because things that we've seen during these ordeals of how we started our business from how we still in business, it's not a game. And I always stress to everybody, you know, man, you doing it? When do you sleep? I don't sleep. I take naps. You know what I mean? And that's like when you're an entrepreneur, you don't sleep, you take naps. And if you don't learn, like I slept when I was incarcerated. I tell people that all the time. But I like getting money. I like hustle. You know what I mean? And I quit during COVID. I was making like bringing home $2,300 a week after taxes working for Coastal. And I was the food man. I flooded everybody during COVID. Everybody know. You see my face, you might got me on your phone as the food man. But nevertheless, it's so funny because I've always made a way wherever I did, incarcerated, in the streets, you know what I mean, from hustling and all that. And all my day one, man, you don't teach us. If you don't listen, always remember LISTEN. Same letters as spell listen, spell silent. You have to be silent before you listen. And through it all, I love these brothers, you know what I mean? We done been in the trenches together, you know what I mean? And like I all said, you know, I don't let everybody come on my house. And we was on my house chilling. And he was like, man, I said, yeah, this junk paying the bills. He was like, man, boom. And guess what? He ran with it. And I'm proud of him. I call him sometimes, hey, I got an overload. He's like, I might can. Let me know the details. Like, all right, you know what I mean? But it's when you can laugh with your comrades and appreciate them and celebrate them. And say, I just called. What's that? I said, hey, well, I just called you the other day, man. I called Raymond. I said, hey, I'm about to add another layer to this transportation. I'm about to start doing limbs, organs, you know what I mean? And people laugh about it, but like I said, I want to make sure all my drivers, because some of my drivers on furlough, I want to make sure all my drivers are staying working. That's my job as a boss. You know what I'm saying? As a team leader, as an entrepreneur, you got to make sure the people around you are benefiting, because then they ain't going to want to work for you. You got to make, and that's the thing with the drug deal. Everybody want Rob to connect and all that because he want to let them eat. I'm trying to let all my workers eat, because in the thing called corporate America, and I used to get mad at so many people because you'll work for corporate America for, you think you're getting $40 and $30 an hour, but after everything taken, you ain't getting up at $10 or $15. And I tell people, I stand by that. I don't pay taxes. And I'll always laugh. I say, I don't pay taxes because I don't have a job. You know what I'm saying? You only pay taxes when you got a job. He the tax man, he'll tell you. You only pay taxes if you have a JOB, jump out of bed or just over broke, because you W-2. It's called earned income. So the next topic that we want to talk about in this business, how did you get funded? Where did the money come from? Because everybody think, oh, I can do this. And I'm going to start off with myself. I had a buddy. I was in Lee County Penitentiary. Dude was bragging, man, my people was on a car lot. I called my man. He had a joint. I said, hey, I need you all at such and such. I said, as many people still got a car. I went to New York. I got on $1 bus ride on Union Station. Went to New York, Garden State, New York. I bought a Chrysler 300 SRTA. It was black on black. I started doing Uber in that joint. And then when all these dudes started messing up that was incarcerated and catching these charges with Uber, Uber's like, oh, we know you 5-star, but we got to cut you. I said, I ain't worried about, because I was giving out my cars, my business cards, as I was doing Uber. You have to network. Network is my biggest thing. I don't advertise, and I tell everybody, you got a business, don't advertise. Word of mouth is the best thing smoking. So that's how I bought my first car. He called his people and said, hey, that's my man. I paid my note every day, I paid it all. That was my first vehicle. Then I got a truck. Then I got another truck. All I was doing was buying black on black. So now they was like, oh, that's a little crazy with all the cars. Keep thinking it, because I mind my business. I mind my business, M-I-N-E. You know what I'm saying? And I was M-I-N-D, minding my business. So it was funny because people was like, man, I can't believe they got all these cars. Nah, all my cars work for me. You know what I'm saying? They making me money. It's a difference. See, people like to drive around looking pretty, but guess what? Everything I do, I get paid to have fun. I tell Wayne that all, you ain't never lied. Raymond, how did you start money-wise? How did you get funded for your business?
Well, I started off with, I had a little change. Coming out of prison. And my mom had showed me how to get a credit card, right? So when she showed me how to get a credit card, I got it. And when I had went to purchase, because I was the initial plan was for me to purchase a box truck first. So I had went all the way up New York, met with the people who seen the truck, but they were saying that like they wanted some extra paperwork that I didn't have at the time. So I said, all right, cool. I'm gonna just get me the big wide body Sprinter, right? The extra long Sprinter. So I was looking on what do you call it?
Car Guru,
all that. Looking through all that. So once I found one, I was like, I said, this not too much off from the actual box truck. I'm gonna go ahead and get this joint. So now, mind you, I had the credit card. So as I was stating earlier today, I was still caught up on having a lot of money, a lot of cash. The guy was like, Will you put down the down payment for the truck? Will you pay with cash, credit or cash? So I looked at my cash. I'm like, man, my mother said I wouldn't do that if I were you. You know what I'm saying? Because the amount of money that I'm just putting down, she said I wouldn't do that with it. She said put it on the card and just pay the card back. She said you're gonna be building your credit up anyway. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that happened. You know what I mean?
Building credit, right?
Building credit
On an accident.
On an accident. Like I didn't really, because I was really about to get these people all this money.
But that's the entrepreneur.
She like, nah, don't do that, because now you're going to get what you want, plus you're going to be building what? Credit. So because you got the money to pay it back on the car. So I'm like, And then that's how I started. Then the credit stores started going up, because you ain't gonna miss a payment. You know what I mean? Yeah. And my credit just started looking like. And once I understood credit, it started looking too good. So now I want to go get me something else. You know what I mean? And that's how I do. Yeah, because now it like Outlaw was saying about construction. The beauty of construction is you see nothing turns into something. And that's the thing about entrepreneurship. You see nothing turn into something. Yeah. And you grow it. And you keep on putting it in. That's why when you got all these vehicles, you were seeing your business flourish and grow.
So it's so funny, because what you just said, Raymond, is you had the eagerness. And the eagerness, most people that come from incarceration already go-getters. We just don't know how to formulate. And that's why I'm touching bases on where the money come from. Because that's the first thing people, you need money to do this. Listen, I tell you, that's a lie from the pits of hell. You don't need money to make money. You need words. If I come to you and say, Outlaw, give me $1,000, man, I give you $1,500. You gonna think about it. You feel what I'm saying? And if I'm worthy,
I ain't gonna think for a minute.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? But if I'm worthy, you gonna be like, yeah, man, what you doing? And then I might get $2,000. So the point I'm making is, when you go in the bank, they don't ask you, oh, you got some money to put in this bank before we give you some money? No, they say, give us a business plan. What's on the business plan? Words. I'm not going to give y'all a game today, because it ain't for that. It's for my man Wayne to tell you where his money came from to start his business.
Well, mine came from, I had a savings before because I was planning, I already knew I was going to lose my job. So I started building in the garage myself, workbenches, buying little equipment here and there, just getting ready to get fired. And then I had everything in place. That's the faith part. No clients. So I took what I had and began to build everything by hand, buy the equipment. And then so the challenge was like, okay, how are you going to get clients? Because I'm new I know my field, but I don't know the business. That's where that mentorship, that's so important. Key to getting started. I don't care who you are. The job I was working with before I started business, I was a marketer. No marketing background. None whatsoever. But the guy hired me to start a lab for him, a dental lab. But when I got to the place where I was working, he switched it up. Said, no, I want you to market. I just quit my job.
Right.
To come here and you say you want me to market. And I'm like, I guess I'm gonna learn how to market. Because I need the money.
Right.
But watch, by the time I was finished listening to, I had a bunch of young ladies around me. Oh, do this or do that. And Fred, they was like, do this. But they were dental assistants.
Right.
I was taking their advice. But eventually what happened was I became head marketer. We from the street. Got creative.
Yeah.
I got creative. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go stand in front of the subway station with flyers. Hey, you can come, we got free checkups. Come to the dental office. I was pulling people off the street.
Right.
They was like, you getting us? I started giving people all these clients. The way that office was set up, if you were a dental assistant, you can come in and tell the doctor how much you want to make. You can come in and say, I want to make $50 an hour. I kid you not. they'll say, okay, but you got to bring in this amount of money, this amount of clients. So I started getting the clients and the patients. I was passing them all to the dental assistants. Y'all had to call, or we called, get them on the books. We got to get them in. Going in the front of the subway station, flyers. Hey. Then I learned about wellness fairs, health and wellness fairs. Mm-hmm. Once I started going in, I asked the manager, hey, can I have these Sonic toothbrushes when they first came out? Mm-hmm. Can I have a couple of these? I would go to the government buildings, raffle the toothbrushes, but in order for you to win, you had to give me your name, phone number, and your insurance company. Mm-hmm. Let's call them. They got insurance. Get them on the books. Mm-hmm. We was building their business. Mm-hmm. And we would have those, right? But I got fired. I learned how to market.
Through accident. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The setup.
That's the innovation.
The setup.
Yeah.
So back to your question, the cash I have built, so I would go out, go to dental offices, go in with some pizza, because you got to get past the front desk. Hey, my name's such and such. Can I meet with the doctor? You know, I was just starting a business. I was like, you know, and I kid you not, they'll be like, oh, come on back. I mean, I would walk out with cases in my hand. And I'm like, woo, it's like, oh my God. Like you said, it's nothing like seeing when you know it's scary. And I mean, listen, starting business is scary.
Yes.
That's a skill set that everybody
don't have. Yeah, that's that go. See, it's that swag. Yeah,
because we got it.
Yeah.
Everybody
don't have it, and it comes from the street. Right, it comes from the street. It comes from being incarcerated. Yeah. It's that swagger, man, that people don't realize, man, how things manifest itself. And I tell people, and I'm telling y'all, I've never made a mistake. And you know why? Because God has ordained my steps. When you believe in God, it's no mistakes. Everything that's doing in your life and happens in your life happens for a reason. We always talk about that. And people are like, you, Eric, no, I've never made a mistake. Me going incarcerated, me starting a transportation business, me starting my other business. It's not you coming over my house, me meeting you. It's not a mistake. And when you are embedded and in being with God, He will show you your path. And that's been like, I'm in tune with myself. A lot of things I can say, and I hate to say it, come to fruition because we have it in us. It's just us bringing it out, getting in tune with God. Like I went to the game that Sunday when the Orange Man was when he was at the stadium, and I did a live. I said, man, y'all about to get I'm about to open up the government because wealthy people go to events to conduct business and network. We go to, I'm having fun, man. They win, they lose. Nah. And every time I'm up on those suites, guess what? I got my wristband, my DAC. I'm moving and shaking. On PNB Private Transportation. Oh, I see you, I follow you. And guess what? We network. Mm-hmm. And that's what you did. You just gave a flat, it's called flat foot hustling, if y'all don't know. And no, but they might not know. But no, the viewers might not know.
The key they should be getting to is don't be afraid.
Don't do it. But see, here's the thing. You have to have it in
you. Yeah. And say, but yeah, you have to have it in you, but also there's an element of fear that comes with it. So I learned, like, do it afraid. I don't care how scared I am to do something. I'm going to do it. If I'm scared, I'm going to do it. Starting us podcasting.
Right.
I thought you just want everything right. You want everything. You want dot every I, cross every T, and this got to be in place.
That's just because you want your brand. That ain't really fair. That's just you particular about your brand.
And so that too, but also what might happen, like, so personal. I deal with rejection.
Right.
I have to pull back.
And we all do.
Deal with the rejection part of it. I learned this saying, no today don't mean no tomorrow.
If you don't have that go-getter in them, don't be no entrepreneur. And I ain't running on your parade. I'm just telling you the facts. Yeah. Because you're going to get hit over the head. Mm-hmm. You're going to have setbacks. It's going to be so much stuff that, like, I go through so much because when you have multiple vehicles and multiple individuals working for you, you got to make sure they're on time. You got to make sure they dress the part. You got to make sure the clients are happy. Now, we're going to jump to Outlaw and see how he got his funds. And I already know what he's going to say, but how he got his funds to start his business.
with the tax franchise fee, I need 20,000. Right? Using the streets, I need 20,000. So when it said that, I went to a buddy of mine. I said, man, I need to borrow 20 from you. So our thing was, when we borrow money, we always say, when I'm gonna return it. That's all. And they don't ask. Real friends don't ask what you doing.
Right.
When I'm gonna get it back. I'm ready to buy a tax franchise. I'm already working for Liberty, but I'm ready to buy a franchise, and I'm gonna give it back to you April 15th, and then the tax. That's when you made all you're gonna make.
Right.
So I got that first franchise, and I paid it back. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I got that funded for that. But I haven't really needed any. For like the Sprinter, I bought the Sprinter on. I put the Sprinter on American stuff.
Right.
On the
That's
car.
what I'm saying. That's what-
But break down how you got the American Express. See, that's the thing. When we looking at this, we giving you a blueprint. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got the black card, but we giving you the blueprint. Flee, living in prison. Meaning, clear your mind, get your mind right, and you can do this. You can get a black card and all that. You can get a blue card. You know what I mean? And the thing about it is, we giving you free game, but we also trying to mentor.
But look, guess what though? And piggyback on what you just said, as far as the card situation, it all goes back to your what?
Your credit.
Your word.
Yeah, your word. Yeah, your word.
It's just the same thing about what Outlaw just said. Your word is very important in this business and being an entrepreneur because, and just as a person, period. You know what I'm saying? You want to say, your word got to be bomb.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when you say, and that's with the creditors. The creditors, they gonna give it to you. They gonna give it to you. They got all the money in the world. They gonna give it to you.
Basically, you're establishing word.
Yeah. You gonna pay them back. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If I give you a $50,000, $100,000 limit,
line of credit,
and then you run it out, you telling me you gonna pay it back?
Yes, sir.
American Special Fraud. If
you get it, and they go, and see, man, we networking right here while we mentor to y'all and have this podcast. We conducted business.
I got a brand new Twix card too.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell them how.
Yeah. See, and this is all about networking because one thing about business, we not gatekeepers over here.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? We not look. You see this gate open? This gate open right here. It's open.
That's open.
Please living in prison. This gate is open. And that is said, I'm not going to set you up for failure. I'm going to put you where you can strive. Now, if you don't strive, it ain't on me.
That's on you.
You know what I'm saying? My word is on, and it's funny that you say about the word because one of my clients, like tomorrow, I got to take somebody at the Kent Island, right? And they was like, ain't nothing going on up Kent Island. You know, we DMV. When you say stuff, if I say whatever your money take you, I'm taking you. We done went to Florida. We done went to Boston. We done went to Atlanta. Turn and burn. So I say that because people say, Craig, one thing about you don't mind going on. I don't. I like money. And that's the thing. I like my freedom, but I like money because your money pays my bills. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to give you the exceptional service where you're going to talk about it. See, that's one thing about it. When you talk about, I was in the Maybach and he had wine and he had this and he had champagne. I was in the Sprinter, and guess what? That's all you need.
I want to add to that. That was good what you said. You do exceptional.
Yeah.
I heard this commercial and I love that. This is how it stuck with me. He said people don't rate. They don't go on there and give you a rating based on the expectation because when you come in and do a job, they already expecting this and that. They're going to rate you based on how far above you went over.
You want to hear something?
Yeah, so
this is funny that you say that. A client of mine called, right? And this is the thing. I ask for feedback because a lot of times we go for service, we go for safety, and we go for superior experience, right? And satisfaction. So at the end of the day, you got to tell me what's going on because I'm not there. I got drivers. Yeah. And that's another benefit of entrepreneurship, just like you. Now, I tell everybody, I know where all my drivers at all the time. All my vehicles come with apps. You know what I'm saying?
And you're supposed to know if you the business owner, there's nothing on that business
that you don't supposed to know. And this is what I do. I always, my first clients, when you first come to P&B Private Transportation and you're going to be a loyal customer, I stay doing it for you, right? Because I want to know your ins and outs. I want to know what you like and don't like. So then I can say, hey, Raymond, drive them, but they don't want no music playing. Drive them and da-da-da-da. Because some of my clients don't even want me to open the door. They be like, no, Craig, just drive. Just, matter of fact, just put on anything and come get us. I'm like, nah, like, no, we want you to look. No, and that's what I've learned. When you're wealthy, you don't want to look like money.
Yeah,
you don't want to look like money. So all y'all that listen to this, listen. So all y'all that listen to this, everybody out here that want to buy the Versace and the gold rings and all that, listen, you ain't got to do that. As long as you pay, like I tell everybody, as long as I can hit any button in my car, and they open up 1 garage, 2 garage, I'm all right. You know what I'm saying? And I tell people, I tell you when I said, man, I tell my man Troy, man, stay out here in Charles County. Don't go back to Southeast. You know what I'm saying? Because we done that. We done been there. You know, I mess with Outlaw all the time. Like, I gotta get on that golf course. I got my golf clubs now. I'm swinging. And then I told him he ain't know about Kentland. They got a swinger dog, and it's like, wow. But getting back on the topic, y'all, about business. My next question, y'all seen how we funded our business. My next question is, what motivates you to stay in this business? And I tell people this all the time.